Hey team, we are starting a new series this Sunday called The Story. The Story covers some of the major stories from the Old Testament that are all about God's plan. For your curriculum, your cover sheet is a little wrong. So to make sure that you are teaching on the right story, just open to the table of contents and that will have the right story. But what your cover page does have is the different special events that will be coming up during January and February. In January, we've bumped class parties down to the 24th. So that means that our schedule is the 17th is Smarty Sunday, where kids dress in school colors or like a Smarty candy to celebrate back to school. On the 24th, we'll have class parties, which is just where you celebrate in class, and that is up to the leaders. I'll be giving you more information and some details about how to plan that and what we look for that. And then on the 31st, we have spiritual birthday party, which is our handprint day. And then on the 7th of February, that is game day, normally like a Super Bowl theme, so it will be sports themed on the 7th. And then for Valentine's Day, which is one of my favorite holidays, we're all going to wear red, and we're asking all of our leaders to give kids a Valentine. If you are looking at that list for Valentine's, don't worry about writing kids' names down. Just bring about 15 for your class, or 16 if you tend to have a bigger class. And then depending on who shows up, just hand them out to those that are there. And then after that, on the 21st, it's a normal Sunday. So for the story, because it's 7 weeks, we get to have a bigger emphasis. Our emphasis is going to be memorizing the books of the Bible. When I did student ministry, a student came up to me, and most of my students didn't have a church background. And he said, "Miss Leanne, that book about Job, it's really cool." See, he hadn't had any church background. His mom didn't go to church, but he had been really struggling with the idea of God's sovereignty. He was very science-minded, and he had found the book of Job, or as he called it, Job, all on his own and read it. And I loved that because it showed that regardless of me, regardless of what I could help him with, God used his words to speak directly to this kid, and it meant so much to him. But because we have these kids now, I don't want our kids to be randomly searching through the Bible, wondering what it is. I want them to know it. I want them to love it. I want them to be excited about that. I want them to know what Job is because they've been here with us and we have the opportunity to teach them that. So we are going to spend 7 weeks learning the books of the Bible. If you don't know the books of the Bible, that is totally okay. We're teaching kids, so we'll be doing it a step at a time all together. To help kids learn it, we're going to go backwards. So we're going to spend 4 weeks on the Old Testament and then 3 weeks on the New. But for the Old Testament, we're not going to start with Genesis. We're going to start with that last group of books, the Minor Prophets, because the Minor Prophets are really hard. It's a lot of names that are hard to say and that we don't necessarily use today. And so we're going to teach them Hosea through Malachi the first week. And then the next week, we'll add on to the front of that so that they get, I think it's Job through the end. And then we'll add on the books of history. So Judges or Joshua through the end, and then Genesis through Malachi. So that way they get to practice the hardest part every single week. And I really want to make sure that every single kid feels like they can learn the books of the Bible. So we're going to be doing things a little bit differently, a little more interactive. Instead of just telling them to memorize it or telling them to do it at home, our classroom's going to look, the setup's going to be a little different. So every kid will get a card that has a bookshelf of the books of the Bible on the front, and then the back has a list. The real card is bigger than this. It's about half the size of a sheet of paper. And they can put that in their Bible or take it home with them so they can practice whenever they want. And then for your classroom, you will have books of the Bible that are, they come like this so you can separate them all, and they're about the size of your hand. So the size that would normally go on a bulletin board for you to spread all across your wall for them to constantly be seeing the books of the Bible. And it comes with the different divisions. And then the other thing that you will have in your classroom is this set of cards that has all of the books of the Bible. The front is just the books, and then the back has information about it. You will have 5 sets, one for each table, so that you can play different games with it, like shuffling. And these cards are yours to use. So if your kids get good enough at it and you want to cut off that number piece, go for it. Whatever helps them learn and know the books of the Bible. Whenever a kid memorizes the books of the Bible and can say them all to you, their prize is one of these pens that has the 6 different colors where you click it down and it shows the different ones. Because we're putting such an emphasis on the books of the Bible, your bonus games are very centered around that. So one of your bonus games, you'll have a jump rope in your classroom and a kickball. And the jump rope is long enough where 2 people can swing it and 1 kid can jump in the middle. And so you can divide your room in half, and on one side, kids line up to jump rope, and on the other side, kids circle up to kick this ball around. And they pick a section. Like if I wanted to do the books of poetry and I was on the jump rope side, I would say poetry before I jumped. And then when I'm jumping, I try to get through all of the books of poetry. Job, Psalms, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, Song of Songs, Song of Solomon, whatever you want to call it. And then I would go back in line to try again next time. And then you have any activity you want to do with the cards. You have a few suggestions down here. And then you have Mad Libs. Mad Libs are not about the books of the Bible. They actually relate to the skits and jump. They're designed to be part of our curriculum. They're about Clark Lewis, who is the adventurer in our jump skits. Not Lewis and Clark. Clark Lewis. And it's a Mad Lib for you to do as a group. You'll have 2 that are big poster size so that you can circle up as either 2 small groups or 1 group as a large class and ask them and just laugh and have fun together and then read your silly made up story together. I love memorizing the books of the Bible because I think it takes out some of how overwhelming the Bible can feel because it makes all of the Bible knowable. But I don't want them to learn the books of the Bible to just know the books of the Bible. I want them to know that there are 66 books, but it's all one story about God and his plan for the world and how he sent Jesus to save us and how we can follow him. I'm so excited to get to do this series with you, and I will see you on Sunday.